Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 2025 Rafter KL Bull Draft here at the Bar O Arena. I'm going to bless the food quick. We're going to get started, get something to eat, make sure you guys are comfortable, and then we'll start our bull draft here in just a little bit. If you would, please bow your heads as we say a short prayer for our food. Father God, thank you so much for just gathering all of us here together today and giving us a place where we can come and commune and break bread. Father, we just pray that you will nourish our bodies with this food, and thank you and bless the hands that prepared it for us today. In Jesus' name we ask, amen. Hey, y'all can go eat right now. Sorry. I thought when I said amen, everybody just go.
Welcome to Draft Day 2025. Everyone's going to make their selections here. I know everyone's trying to finish up eating, and I want to talk about some stuff that I've got in the works with the bull draft for moving forwards. The 2026 calves will be the first calves eligible for what I'm going to get into. Some of the fine details, locations, etc., are still to be announced, but I wanted to at least, most of you guys have been with me from the start as far as the draft program. There's a couple new faces as well, but something that I'm extremely excited about. Before I get into that, I do want to say that the calves drafted today, there's going to be 4 events in 2026 that just draft calves only will be eligible to enter. They will be coinciding with existing events, the Duncan Evolution Challenge in April, an event at LJ's, and an event or 2 here in Ada. You don't have to be entered in another class, but if you are entered in the Open or Garen's entered in the juniors, you can pay the draft class side pot, and those bulls are going to compete for just against draft bulls for that money and a buckle as well. And so leading into with that, for 2026 calves moving into 2027, their 2-year-old fraternity year, we're going to introduce Rafter KL's the league. Basically what that's going to look like is, instead of me having to knock my head against a wall, going through 150 bulls to find 20 to put in the draft, in like you guys witnessed it this year, I added 4 bulls late, just because they were green, had less trips, etc. Anything that I think has the tools and the talent, and everybody that's been in the business or been in the draft long enough, you guys seen it last night. Pick number 7 is the best bull to come out of there this year to this point. So it's not necessarily the number 1 bull, but there's bulls that progress at different times. So every bull that's got the talent that I think's got the tools to be competitive and the tools to be a really nice bull is going to go into the draft. So this time next year, I can't give you a number obviously, but instead of bucking 20 bulls, we might buck 40. That way, the top 15 draft spot holders are going to have first option at every bull that I got. I'm not going to have an online sale. I'm not going to sell bulls outside. Everything that makes the cut is going to be offered to the draft first. Following the draft, we're going to have 2 free agency auctions where those bulls will be for sale to the public. Whether you guys that have draft spots are interested or somebody completely outside of the draft wants to buy a free agent auction. I will say that the draft spots will still remain the way that it is. First right of refusal to the draft of you guys that are in now and supporting it. You guys will have first right of refusal at your spot again or to move up of any available spots. But moving forward with that, I'm going to host 7 closed exclusive events for the draft calves, free agency calves. So anything that's selected out of the draft or purchased out of the free agency auction, we're going to have 7 different playoff series fraternity events. We're going to keep a standings by money won and of course buckles. But it's going to be like this. We're going to have a dinner. We're going to have, if we have a Calcutta or door prizes or whatever, and we're going to buck all the bulls that want to enter from the draft and the free agency auction as an exclusive event to the league and those bulls that come through that. And then, of course, the showcase fraternity will be the finale the following August to end that year's the league, re-kick off the yearling calves and the draft calves for the following year. So I'm sure you guys might have some questions. That's in a nutshell. Like I said, the event locations and some things like that are to be determined. But it's something that I'm very, very excited about. Of course, the amount of money that's going to be up for grabs. Like last night, I don't know if you guys really put 2 and 2 together that there was 6 bulls and we paid out $21,000. It paid $10,000, $7,000, and $4,000 to play against 6 bulls. I mean, that's you ain't gonna win $10,000 to play against 50 bulls anywhere else. And so that was really exciting. There's going to be a payout at all the playoff series events, a big payout at the showcase finale at the draft again. So I think it's something that I'm very excited about. I really enjoy creating things for y'all. I want you guys to be able to be successful with your bull, and whether he's a 93 pointer and can play everywhere, or he's an 89 pointer and struggles to play at the top level, an 89 pointer is going to win his fair share of the money here in the league playoff events, I believe anyways. So as we navigate through this 2026 draft will look like that. Those calves will be eligible. We'll buck them all here in the preview, and then what doesn't get drafted, there'll be 2 free agency auctions following the draft before the end of the year. So you guys have any questions, I'd love to visit about it. It's something that I have thought long and hard about for a while, and I'm excited to unroll it. And I know we're still just a little bit out from the playoff series events, but with those calves being eligible next year, everyone's fixing to start weaning calves, and before we know it, we're going to be bucking yearlings again, or weanling calves. So it's something I'm very excited about. Again, I wanted to say thank you for coming. Thanks for supporting the draft. I hope you guys get the bull that you want, and just know that you have 3 minutes. When the person ahead of you is done with their pick, you go on the clock with 3 minutes. If you have any questions, I'm available. I'll do my very best to give you my opinion on the bulls that you like and what I think is best is still available on the board. So, Skip.
All right, Kyle. Man, I know a lot of hard work goes into this thing. I'm privileged enough throughout the year to go announce all these calves that Kyle brings, that not these calves, of course, but all of his other fraternity calves and yearling calves that he brings. You know, got to go to Duncan, Oklahoma this year and see some outstanding calves. So I appreciate that Kyle brings me because he thinks that I know a little bit, but I'm pretty partial to just good-looking, good-built calves. When you guys watched last night, those were all calves that Kyle has worked all year long getting those calves dialed in. Some of those calves I think are going to move up in the draft. There's some I think that fell in the draft, not on their own faults, but just because of their performance last night. I think some of you guys might have some gun shy in there watching them last night. But as I was doing my homework this morning, going through some notes, I think there's some bulls in here that can really go play at the top level. And when you're picking your bulls, I talked to a few folks in here this afternoon, make sure that you're picking based on what game you want to play. If you want to play the yearling game, look at the bulls in that category. If you want to play the Derby bull, the classic bull game, you want to go to the UTBs and the team events eventually in a few years, look at the bulls for their potential there. If you want to play the fraternity game as a 2-year-old, some of those bulls last night were built just for that competition. They're small, compact, muscular. They got a good mind to them already. They're already set up to be in that kind of high-speed, high-stakes competition. So don't get scared of what you saw last night. Pay attention to the videos. Rely on your instinct. Everybody here, for the most part, is a bull man or a bull woman. Everybody knows what they're looking for already. I wish you the best of luck in the draft. I think we should get started. I do believe I'm waiting on Kyle to give me the official draft list here. Here we go. I got it. He gave it to me already. You're not normally this prepared, Kyle. All right. The number 15 pick in the draft. We start from the bottom up, correct? Well, I've only got 6 through 15 here. Do I? Am I lying? I'm lying to you. I'm a liar. Sorry.
I was a little more prepared. Come on, Skip.
So just to be clear, you're starting with the number 1 pick. You have 3 minutes to do so. I don't believe that Premier Livestock is here this weekend. So, do you have their pick? With the number 1 pick in the 2025 Rafter KL Bull Draft, Premier Livestock.
Shock the deal.
I think I'm going to be shocked anyway, because 602H goes number 1 in the 2025 Rafter KL Bull Draft. Last year, there was a trade made with Crooked Creek Bucking Bulls. for the number 1 pick. They traded up. They got their pick that they wanted. They have campaigned that bull. Kyle has done a great job with them. Premier Livestock went ahead and bought Dozier down from Martinez Bucking Bulls, a top-level player in the UTV and Team Series stuff. They are becoming a really good bucking bull owner here in this industry based on this draft last year. They got the bug bit, and they are ready to play the game. With the number 2 pick in the draft, North Carolina, this is their 3rd year at the draft. Always fun to have these guys back. Crooked Creek Bucking Bulls. They got 3 minutes to figure out who they're going to pick. Now, it might look like the 2 guys in the hats make the decisions, but that young lady in the dress is the one that kind of steers that ship there. You missed the red carpet, man. There you go. I thought you were Kevin Costner. You should know better. All right, with the number 2 pick in the draft. Now, last year when you came here, you traded, you moved some things around. You guys ended up with a really outstanding calf last night. Congratulations on that win. What kind of motivated you to pick the pick that you chose here in this draft this year?
Well, the reason I had to go ask Kyle is when he sends me videos, I always nickname them so I can know who they are because I can't remember numbers. And I knew what I've been calling him all year, but I didn't know what his number was. I just wanted to make sure I didn't come up here and pick the wrong one. So I told Kyle when the first video came, I said, this year I want a bull that's either 73 or 93. I don't want a 90-point bull.
So on that real quick, why did you want a 73 or a 90? That's a big spread.
He's a 93. But my point is, if he's going to cap out at 90 or 91, it's a whole different ball game today than it was 3 years ago. You know, and you're not always going to get a check at 90. So that's why I picked the way I picked, and we're picking 400.
JMC 400 goes number 2 in the draft. Congratulations to Crooked Creek Bucking Bulls from North Carolina. The number 2 pick in the draft is JMC 400. These guys have been participating in this draft since the very beginning. They've been partners with Kyle for quite a few years, and another outstanding pick. I would love to know what you nicknamed that bull. Gravy Biscuit. Gravy Biscuit. It's a North Carolina thing, I guess. We're going to go down to Gray Acres with the number 3 pick in this year's draft. This is their 2nd year in the draft being involved here, and they have the number 3 pick in this year's draft. We'll see what they come up with here when they decide to make their choice. It's pretty fun to watch you guys pick your bulls and kind of have your notes on them. I have all these notes. I kind of looked at some videos this morning, went over some stuff, and I could not figure out who was going to be the number 1 pick in this draft. I would not have guessed that 602H. I thought he would be in the top 5 for sure, but I did not expect him to go number 1. After the draft here, maybe in a minute, I'll ask Kyle kind of what motivated that decision for those guys to get there on that number 1 pick. Gray Acres, North Carolina, number 3 pick in the draft. Here he comes. Oh, man. I hope you got something figured out, because this morning in the hotel lobby, you and I talked a little bit on what you were going to do. Now, you're here your 2nd year. Last year, you bought a big white muley you called Bad Weather. He really showed out here. Couldn't quite develop him into what you were thinking throughout the year. Mildly frustrating, I'm sure, but you came back. You came back because Kyle is easy to work with, gave you an easy level of entry. You had 3 bulls you were going to pick from. You don't have to tell me all 3 because that might screw somebody else up. But I'm really interested in why you picked the pick that you did, and how did you come to that decision from 45 minutes ago?
The pick I made is D88.
D88. Now, in the lobby this morning, he was real late in the draft preview last night. He was towards the bottom of the line. And when he went out last night, I wrote down a note. I said, athletic, competition ready, on the road he goes. And this morning, you showed me a video, and I kind of talked to you. I said, man, he's built for what you're kind of wanting to do. He's a little bit more calm, well-minded than Bad Weather was. We know Bad Weather got his name because he was a little bit of a tornado. But D88, a bull I think a lot of people just got their heart broke over for you going number 3 in the draft. Gray Acres, congratulations. Your pick in the 2025 draft. Herndon Bucking Bulls is not present today. Kyle's going to step outside and make a phone call. Another North Carolina stock contractor that's going to play the bull draft game. Now, here's where it gets a little interesting. There was a bull last night that I thought coming in here was going to go number one without question. He hasn't gone in the top 3. So if you're 4, 5, and 6 in this draft, you still have an opportunity to pick that little bull up. And last night, he didn't quite have his day, but I know the videos on Facebook. You've seen him. If I've seen him, you've seen him. That little bull that's still there, he's a pretty outstanding little calf. He's built right. He's athletic. He's got a little leg to him. He's probably going to settle down here in a couple of months, 6 months from now, and he's going to turn into something I think you guys are going to be able to take on the road and win with. So Herndon Bucking Bulls, 3 minutes. When Kyle gets back in here, I'm sure he's going to shock the world with the pick. I have a feeling it's going to be the calf I'm talking about. I hope for some of you it's not, but I have a feeling that it is. It's always interesting coming up here and doing this type of event because it's so different than anything I do all year long. Normally I'm yelling at, 2 or 3 or 5,000 people and trying to get them to scream and yell, and in here it's a little bit like a wake. It's kind of quiet. It's good to see you guys come from all over the country here, though, to participate in this draft. I know Kyle appreciates the heck out of it, too. All right, Kyle, you ready? We're not standing at the table. We're going right here front and center, buddy. Come on over. I want to know if I'm correct. 8 people are going to probably cry. Yeah. All right? With the number 4 pick of the draft, Herndon Bucking Bulls selects.
Well, I got to say this first. He sent me a list, and because he's at an event in Ohio, don't have very good service, and he said, these is my order, pick in this order. And a bull was not on his list. And I called him. I said, hey, man, there's a bull still on your list, or that's not on your list, that's still on the board. I think you'd be crazy if you don't pick him. So, and what he said was he wasn't on my list because I didn't think he'd still be there, but CS43.
I had a feeling that CS43 was going to go right in that number 1 spot. Kyle sent me a video the other day, and I was talking and typing at the same time. I was telling some guys at work how deep to dig a trench. I wanted it 12 inches, and I typed that bull would go 13 or 12. Kyle texted me back and said, are you crazy? And I said, no, I thought 1 or 2. 1 or 2 is where I thought he'd be. Number 4 pick of the draft, Herndon Bucking Bulls selects CS43. I had a feeling, Kyle, when you walked outside and that bull wasn't selected in the top 3, I said, there's going to be a pick coming in here that's going to end up being that CS43 bull. We're going to move down to a Kentucky-based bull owner, RTZ Bucking Bulls, with the number 5 draft pick in this year's draft. Their second year back here in the draft. They participated last year as well. RTZ Bucking Bulls, you got 3 minutes to make your selection. I do believe we're going to have a little conversation with Kyle before we lock in our pick with 1 minute remaining on the clock. RTZ Bucking Bulls from Kentucky, the number 5 pick in this year's draft. Thank you to Dennis and Jan Owens for having us this weekend and putting us into AC. How many of you were here last year? How many of you had to take a shower twice on Friday? I'm from Colorado. You know how humid it gets in Colorado? It doesn't. When it rains in Colorado, people go outside and soak it up. You walk through Oklahoma in August, you just got to chew the air to get on by. All right, time is up for RTZ Bucking Bulls out of Kentucky with the 5th selection in the 2025 Rafter KL Bull Draft. I had an opportunity to talk to this gentleman before we got started. We kind of went over some notes. We talked about some things. There was a bull in there that I said, I don't think he's going to go where you think he's going to go. Is he still available, and did you pick him?
We picked 2411.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that for a minute as well. You're going to tell me who you picked,
Yep.
and I'm going to ask you why.
Okay. We picked bull 2411.
2411, number 5 in the draft. Yep. Now, last night, that bull, you don't know the pedigree on him yet. We're still waiting on that to come back. So you had to pick that bull based on his trips that you know about and the trip last night. What last night stood out to you that made you select 2411 here this year?
He stays close and he turns, and we need, according to Kyle, he says his bull's ready now. So let's do it.
So in my homework this morning, I wrote some notes down about that bull. And one of those notes was competition ready. Yep. That bull's quiet-minded. He's a little bit high-headed in the buck and shoot. He's kind of looking around, but he still sits there quiet. When he comes out of the buck and shoot, he does his job. Selected number 5th in the draft, 2411. Congratulations. All right, we're going to go to our first Cajun team. This is their first time here to the draft situation with pick number 6, Jeremiah Dorsimo. Going to have the number 6 pick. Jeremiah, if I screwed that name up, when you get up here, you can tell me how to say it right. I'll bet. I don't know anybody from Louisiana who does not fix their last name when they talk to me. I announced the bull ride one time down there in Gina, Louisiana. And I said, Herbert. Oh, boy. The National Guard showed up and said, it's a bear. I said, it ain't spelled that way. And they said, it's French. I said, it's something. That was from all the way down at the far end of the buck and shoots. This lady stood up. She said, it's a bear. It might be. But in Colorado, that name is Herbert. I said, Cajun's a different language, you know. You go to Alabama, you talk to some people, you can understand half of them. You go to Louisiana, you better have a translator with you. Good people, though. They make great food. The first year that they come to the draft, they select the number 6 spot. Now, I know all of you guys already paid for your draft spots before you got here, right? So that kind of also plays into what you're looking at when you're going to look at these draft picks. If you're looking at a pick and you're saying, I'm number 5, 6, 7, you're right in the middle of the pack right there. A lot of good bulls that are still left on the board. A bull that I thought, no way he's going number 1. Went number 1 last night, or tonight rather. Is she not coming up? Oh, you got to come up too. If that sucker gets out, who's chasing him, you or him? Then you got to get up here. All right. First, how do you say your last name? Desimo. I was real close, you know. I was so close. I wasn't close. All right. So, first year in the draft, why did you guys, come on over here in the middle here. Why did you guys decide that you wanted to come participate in the draft first off? And then how did you kind of make the decision as to where to purchase that pick?
Well, it's a long story, but we went down a rabbit hole looking for a rodeo to go to. And then next thing you know, found out that you can do buck and bull competitions, and here we are 4 months later, looking forward to it. Great people that we've met, and the bull that we selected, we were kind of hung up on 3 of them. Talking to Kyle just now, we decided to go with 2415.
2415. All right, Mama, it's your turn. 2415. You guys, you're new to the bull game, right? Kyle is really good at new people to the bull game. He really enjoys that part of it, bringing new folks in, kind of showing them what's going on. The competition platform that bull's going to go compete at, lots of money. The $1 million fraternity is now in play. You've got maidens you can buck that bull at. He's never been bucked before in competition, so you have that opportunity as well. The playoff series, all kinds of good stuff. What did you like about 24-15?
I think I was going based on looks, but then after talking to Kyle, he kind of swayed our decision.
So looks, athletic ability?
Whatever mama wants.
Whatever mama wants. That's a good answer right there. Jeremiah Decimo from Louisiana with the number 6 pick in the draft. Congratulations. 24-15 is off the board. All right, this guy's got to run to the airport. So he's going to make a quick selection. Big Shot Rodeo at Truex out of Utah and Michigan with the number 7 pick in the draft. They're going to get with Kyle real quick, and I'm sure that pick is going to be in here fast. Now, Big Shot and Truex, they play the bucket bull game. They are well entrenched in the industry of bucking bulls. They kind of know what they're looking for. These guys are looking for a calf that can go compete at that top level and put them in a position where they can win a world title with one of these calves. So I'm excited to see what Bill decides to do here. Oh, they're going over some lists. They're looking at video, trying to confirm that they made the right decision. Can you imagine if you could do this with your spouse? If you could have a spouse draft, watch videos on them, take notes, pick from 15? Wouldn't that be something? I probably only got married once if that is the case. I traded up. I way outkicked my coverage. My wife texted me last night. She said, "How was it?" I said, "It was good." She said, "I should have come." I said, "Why didn't you?" "I didn't want to be in the car for 11 more hours this summer." We put 56,000 miles on the pickup this summer. We've been moving, been busy. She said, "I want to stay at home." He must have called the airport and told that plane to wait. He must have. "30 seconds left on your clock." Big Shot Rodeo and Truex, the number 7 pick in the draft. This is the meat, guys. This is right in the middle. We talked a little earlier. I got to know, who did you pick in this year's draft and why?
So the Truex Big Shot team's going to go with 56K. The reason we're going to go with him is he's younger, doesn't have very many trips, but definitely seems like he wants to do it. And didn't get out clean last night, but we'll get him lined out and going.
So because you're involved in the bull game already, right, you kind of already know the deal. You know what you're playing for. You know where you're wanting to be. 56K was added last night. Didn't know he was coming to town. Didn't really know what he was going to do. We weren't really sure about him at all. And he came out, had a kind of a funny out last night. But you guys see bucking bulls all the time. You kind of know what you're looking for. So that helped you with your decision. Did you come to an agreement, or did you want one and he wanted another and you kind of had to meet up? You're pretty much the same. Well, congratulations, guys. Number 7 pick in the draft, 56K. Have fun. Congratulations on the number 7 pick, 56K. Big Shot Rodeo and Truex. We're going to move down to pick number 8. This is a draft syndicate pick. Draft syndicate means that they came together, pulled their money up, decided they were going to go with the number 8 pick in this year's draft. I would imagine that some of them are here, Kyle, and you're going to be a big part of how they make their decision. This is their 3rd year here at the draft situation. They kind of know the game already. They're making plans over there. Last year, they ended up with a calf that they were really impressed with at the draft, and throughout the year, that calf has been one that they've really enjoyed hauling. So we'll see what the draft syndicate comes up with here in 2025. All right, I think their pick is locked in. They're making their way to the red carpet to walk on up here and talk about it. The draft syndicate, third year here in the draft, selection number 8. We watched 56K. You guys can scoot in here. I'm not very big. I'll get the heck out of the way. You guys came in last year, sat out in the heat, watched a bunch of bulls buck. You ended up with one that you liked. You brought the whole family, it looks like. At least some of them you know, right? Yeah, there you go. Partners, that's right. Family, partners. So, who did you select? I know you're over there talking to Kyle. Kyle was like, I like him. If you like him, whatever. Why did you pick the bull, and how did you come up with that decision? Was it based on last night or videos that you had seen previously?
All right, we're going to go with High 402, and he was on our list originally, and we just think he's the better one out of the 3 we got left.
So you had 3 selected, kind of going through those 3. Well, you had all of them selected probably, but you narrowed it down to 3, and from there you picked JMC 402. Now that bull, High 402. So High 402 last night. What about last night did you see in him that you really liked that kind of helped you solidify that decision?
He had the stuff. He might not have had the best trip last night, but he had all the tools that we're looking for, and we think he's going to do good and be a big winner for us.
Sometimes they have all the tools. You just got to let Kyle put them all together in the same toolbox, and they'll get sharp, and you guys will have a good year. Congratulations, number 8 in the draft. High 402 is off the board. Well, we have not had any trades yet. Surprised. Crooked Creek's still here. Oh, well, we can just go right into it. With the number 9 selection in this year's draft, Premier Livestock. Now, they picked number 1. They took a bull that last night I made a note on. I said he's going to go number 1, I think. I didn't really know if he would. Now they have another pick towards the bottom of the draft, number 9. Who did the Michigan team, Premier Livestock, pick?
So they had 3 bulls on their list. He sent me yesterday morning, and he said, the pending tonight, these are the 3 at number 1. One of the bulls that was on their list didn't have a very good day, but was everybody that's watched the videos, most of the people that I've talked to, this bull is in the top 5, and everyone let it hurt him pretty good last night, but for them it was a no-brainer, 41.
41. That calf last night, Kale, 41. He was 1 last night. I wrote down in my notes, built right, but he slow burns. So I think as that bull progresses, as he gets a little older, as he gets some more trips on him, I believe that Kyle's going to take that bull and put him in a competition setting, and he's going to do just fine for Premier Livestock with the number 9 selection, KL41. Crooked Creek Bucking Bulls, North Carolina with selection number 10. Are you sending the boy up? The doctor, I should say. Paging Dr. Crooked Creek, come on. The number 10 selection in the draft. It's always fun when you guys come and hang out and talk to us, and it's really interesting sometimes how you guys come up with your bulls and how you make decisions. This is not your first time to the draft. You guys have been here since the beginning. Can you tell me a little bit why you selected the draft 3 years ago and just have stuck with it, kind of how Kyle's influenced you in the buck and bull game?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of it has to do with Kyle, the program, the family. My dad and Kyle and all of us kind of talk quite a bit, get a lot of different videos. And just a lot of the transparency. I mean, it's a gamble. We all know that. But kind of going through that whole process and just having that clear communication and being on the same page is huge. So,
it's When you're playing the bucket bowl game, there's a lot of people that say it's cliquey. There's a lot of people that say you have to know somebody to get in there. Kyle kind of bridges that gap and says, look, if you want to play this game, I'll help you. I'll find out what you want, what you're looking for. We'll make that happen for you. So with the number 10 selection in the draft, who'd you pick?
We're going with 420.
420. Wow. Can I name him? What'd you nickname that one? What'd you nickname him?
Well, we called it Bulldozer last night after he put his nose in the ground.
Bulldozer.
Who knows?
420.
That's what the flight back's for.
Okay, we'll see. 420 selected number 10 in the draft. Crooked Creek Bucket Bulls. I thought he'd have a funny joke about Colorado since I was standing right there, but he didn't. We move on to selections 11 through 15. Pick 11 is Gary and Garen Scarborough. Out of Texas. Scarborough, see there? You must be from East Texas, close to Louisiana. Scarborough. Texas, second year in the draft. They're talking to Kyle right now, getting some things figured out. Number 11 is their pick here in 2025. I think that 22 is going to be, he'll be a player. All right. Let's see if your pick is going to be the pick or just one you settled on. I'm going to ask you some questions. Give me your honest opinion. Second year in the draft. What did you guys determine last night after watching them live versus on video or anything you've talked to Kyle about previous? How did you come up with the decision for the pick that you made today? And then I'm going to ask you your pick, okay? So don't tell me who you picked yet. Just tell me why you picked him, all right?
I picked this calf. Last night he hit himself a little bit, but, he stayed in it. And like Kyle said, he tries very hard. And I feel like every out, he just keeps getting better and better. And, I originally had my sights set on D88. I thought he was going to fall, especially, from the start. I always liked him. He kept getting better, but, we didn't get him. So, can I say my pick now? Go ahead. All right. We picked 041.
041. Now, 041's off the board. You wanted D88. How comparable were those two bulls in making your decision? So you wanted D88, good bull, had a great trip last night, really showed out. 041 had a little bit of a funny start last night, but as you said, you kind of liked him as he got better and better. What do you see in that bull, and where are you going to try to take him?
It depends. Once we work with him, whether he can go in the juniors or, once we work with him more, if he can go to the fraternity, that'd be great. I just like both him and D88. They always try their best, and so that's what I kind of look for, and I think that's going to be good for us.
Well, buddy, congratulations. 041 off the board, Dad. Safe trip back home, guys. He is selected number 11, 041. With the number 12 pick in this year's draft, J.P. Hannah Williams and Ryan Sims out of Georgia This is their third year to be involved in our draft process, and they have the number 12 pick here this year in 2025. We'll see what they come up with here in just a few minutes. You guys don't waste any time, do you?
We should have done trade with Crooked Creek.
I know. You should have got to it. I know. So you guys have been here a few years. You kind of know the deal. You were with us when we were sweating out there down at Cheyenne's house, and just the opportunity you've had from year over year to select great bulls in this thing. Who did you select and why?
Well, we 420 was our calf. We thought that he was going to remain there. He's a good-looking son of a gun. But 45, thought he had a great trip last night. I know he hadn't had a lot of outs, but the breeding is good on 45.
You know, when I looked at the breeding on that bull last night, anything that's got Lostro in front of a cow's brand, you know they're going to be good. You know, Cody, he's got an outstanding eye for those cows. He knows what to breed to them. A good cross that you got there in 45 last night. Now, last night his trip wasn't great, but you guys play this game often. This is not something new for you, so you kind of understand how to play this bull game. What are you going to try to do with him? Is he a fraternity calf for you? Is he a derby bull? What's his end goal here for you?
Well, you know, he did kind of hang himself up, but he showed a lot of potential. And so for us last year, our calf didn't work out for fraternity calf, but I was able to turn him out on some heifers. So we're excited to see what he does. You know, it was a calf that Cheyenne had raised, and so we're looking forward to that. Same deal here. I mean, that Lostro stuff is good stuff. So whichever way it goes, we're just going to play it throughout the year. This is Ryan's first year, and so. Yeah, exactly. You know, to be a part of this and what's going on, Kyle and Molly do an incredible job. So.
Yes, sir, they do. Now, Ryan, first year here in the draft, how did you get involved in bucking bulls? Do you know this guy? Did he just kidnap you? How did you end up here? Did he just rob you for money to buy the bull? Like, how did it work out this weekend? And we're excited that you're here, by the way. So, Ryan Sims, first year in the draft. What have you seen so far here that was kind of captivating you and being like, all right, I'm in. I want to do this?
It's the whole experience. I've been working with JP for 5 years now, and he got me into the bucking bull game, and just to come and do this with you guys and Kyle, it's a phenomenal thing. It's just the experience.
And you like 45? All right. Well, congratulations, guys. You got a good one. You're in 45. JP, Ryan. Congratulations, number 12 pick, Lostro 45 to JP and Hannah Williams and Ryan Sims. Draft pick 13, you're on the board now, Stephen Lister and partners from Kentucky. You got 3 minutes to make your selection. This is their first time to the draft. They look like they're ready. Oh, they're going to talk to Kyle quick. When we get down into these last few picks, I'm always surprised that some of these bulls aren't taken as high as I thought that they would. There's a few in here that are left that I thought for sure would go in the top 10. All right. Stephen and partners, is it Lister? Yes. Oh, I did it right. First of all, were you golfing this morning? What did you do this morning? Not yet, yeah. All right, well, this first year here in the draft. Why did you guys get involved? What kind of turned you on to this draft situation, and how did you kind of get to be a part of the buck and bull industry?
Like a lot of our bad decisions, we were drinking with buddies, and we said we're all thoroughbred racehorse friends, and we said, hey, let's buy a bull. And we ended up making this birthday present for Oliver, so happy birthday, Oliver, and here to have some fun.
Heck yeah. So racehorse owners, Gray Acres Farms is also a former racehorse guy. He came in last year, bought a buck and bull, so it's good to see some of that crossover from you guys. So you understand breeding, you understand pedigree, you understand the performance aspect of it. It's a little different because they're not running straight down a track, they're bucking in circles. But who did you select in this year's draft?
We went KL 408.
KL408, a bull that I thought was going to go a little higher in the draft this year. KL48, congratulations, guys. Thank you for being here. KL48's off the board. Stephen Lister and partners from Kentucky, KL408 is their selection at number 13 in the 2025 Rafter KL Bull Draft. We'll move down to TBR Bucking Bulls out of Texas for selection number 14. This is their third year here in this draft. TBR Bucking Bulls, they're another player that understands the competition bull game pretty well. So I'm excited to see what those guys come up with and who they pick, who their selection's going to be. He's going to go back to the partners over there and try to make a decision. TBR Bucking Bulls on the clock. They got 1 minute left to go before they have to make a decision. All right, TBR Bucking Bulls, time is up. Decision has to be made. TBR Bucking Bulls out of Texas, their pick is in. All right. I don't know if that's an anxious look. I don't know if that's a relieved look. I'm not sure which one it is.
It's a panic look.
Panic. Get over here in the middle here. All right, you guys have been around for 3 years. You kind of know what this draft is about. We're glad to see you guys back and participating 3 years in a row. I know Kyle enjoys you guys as partners. So we talked a little bit earlier. I know there's some bulls you had talked about that are still on that board. So I know that might be a little bit of the worry there, saying, man, do we pick this one? Do we not pick this one? I'm going to skip you for a minute. I'm going to ask her real quick. Why did you select the bull that you selected? Don't tell me who it is yet, but why did you select this bull and kind of what made that decision happen for you?
So actually, we're still between two, right? It's going to come down to this a moment. Because they picked the couple that I had on my list. So my list is pretty much gone that I picked. So now I think it's between their pedigree, we're nervous right now because
Nervous. Okay, so you got two you're trying to decide with. Who's going to be the tiebreaker? Him?
I think he already made the tiebreaker.
All right. So I'm going to get to you in a minute. But in the meantime, you have two you're choosing from. Her list is almost gone. You guys each had lists written out. You had them written down in kind of a descending order as what you thought they were going to be. What kind of helped you come to those two right here at the last minute?
In a nutshell, Kyle.
You know, he's pretty good at helping you make a decision on bulls that he's watched for the last 7 or 8 months, right? They get weaned, they go to his place, he kind of gets to know them, gets around them, starts bucking them, starts to figure out how they're going to end up in the draft and if they can even make the draft. So they came here because Kyle's intuition, his knowledge, and his expertise in bucking bulls brought him here. So I think you can be settled a little bit in knowing that Kyle's got your best interest in mind because he's the one that's putting in the work on them, and so he's already known that they can prove what they're going to do. So I'm going to ask, who'd you pick?
45A.
45A. 45A. Another great calf that last night didn't quite have the trip that he should have had, right? At the house, that bull had some really nice trips, really kicks hard out of the gate, has a lot of forward movement, but he stays close. Really good bucking bull. As far as the competition setting goes, are you guys trying to make that bull a derby bull, a classic bull, or is he going to stay in the fraternity game for a little while, figure him out there, and then maybe offload him for another one?
He'll be in the futurity game, I think. I think we can line him out.
I think with Kyle's help, with your guys' expertise, your industry standards, I think you're going to be fine. Selected number 13 or 14 rather in the draft. 45A is off the board. TBR Bucking Bulls selects 45A. Did he give you the number 1 jersey? You should have kept that thing. There's only one of Kyle. There's 3 of you. All right. It's the moment of the draft that I'm always sad to see come, but I'm excited to find out what Herndon Bucking Bulls from North Carolina selects as the number 15 pick in the draft. They're not here, so Kyle's going to make a phone call, or he's going to read me a text. I'm not sure.
So this was his text before it started for his 4th pick, and meaning still there.
Okay.
That's what we're going to go with.
All right, he is going to select 802, the number 15 pick in the draft. 802 goes to Herndon Bucking Bulls out of North Carolina. Well, 15 bulls were selected today. 15 bulls are outstanding. There's still some bulls left on this draft class list. Kyle's going to stick around, I'm sure, to make sure that you guys have everything you need, questions answered. And if you want to purchase one of those bulls that did not make the draft selection, that is still an option available for those folks, right?
Yeah, we'll sell the bulls that were not picked in the draft for $5,000 if you guys want anything that's left over. And come find me. I'll be around here for a while. I want to say thanks to my wife, first and foremost. This isn't just today. She puts up with a lot. She videos at 6 in the morning when it's 28 degrees outside, and on top of taking care of 3 kids and keeping the house in order. So without her, we couldn't do any of this. And of course, again, to all y'all that choose to spend your money with us and support the draft. And again, I see some of my partners here that raised some of these bulls. And without those people, I couldn't put together a set of bulls like we were able to offer. So everybody from the camera crews to everybody that helps us come together, thank you, and best of luck until next year.
Thank you, Kyle, as always. If you were watching us on YouTube on the Rafter KL Bucking Bulls YouTube channel, thank you for tuning in to this year's 2025 draft. We'll see you guys in 2026. We're starting with the Premier League for Rafter KL Bucking Bulls. We'll see you guys next time.